All right, welcome back. Shock claim USAID funded Boko Haram. US lawmaker speaks. So, a few days ago, I'm just going to do a quick narration of what I saw during the weekend that was trendy. Well, what was trending during the weekend was USAID, Boko Haram, Barack Obama. All those things were trendy at the same time. And to be honest with you, I was shocked. Sorry, I'm in New York City if you hear sirens.
It's all right.
I was shocked. The guy, U.S. Congressman Scott Perry, and I quote, this is according
Yeah,
to
from
News Central
Pennsylvania, from the
from
state of
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I quote, he has claimed that the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, has provided funding to terrorist groups, including Boko Haram. Perry, a Republican from Pennsylvania, made this allegation during the first meeting of the subcommittee on delivering on government efficiency on Thursday, according to Punch. And I quote, who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds in madrasas, ISIS, Al Qaeda, Boko Haram, and there was more like ISIS, terrorist groups around the world. But of course, Nigerian people got stuck on the Boko Haram part. Not only that, they dug in deeper, they went straight to Obama. Not only that, very dark man was involved. Start questioning Tinubu. How did you get rid of Jonathan? Anyway, I thought that was interesting. But I understood personally, now I'm speaking for me, so I want to throw it to you now, sir, right? I understood personally how the general public can just take that kind of news and say, hey, so what's up, Barack Obama? So I decided to do a short video which wasn't received well by some people. But I wanted to hear your take on it. I know you'll find a very good balance in this conversation. How
Thank you
how
very
how
much.
how did Barack Obama sponsor Boko Haram? Please help us.
Yeah, I can speak to the tacit support of the administration of former President Barack Obama for General Muhammadu Buhari, as he then was before becoming President Muhammadu Buhari. I can speak to that a little. But so many things are not yet declassified, so we need to proceed with caution. Number two is the fact that I cannot speak directly to that fact that the United States government, through USAID, provided funding for Boko Haram. Yes, he mentioned the madrasas. What do we know as the madrasas? That is Islamic schools, the ones that they call Almajiri thing in northern Nigeria. So, I do know the culture in America long before you and I were born. And in my university years too, I was a strong patron for United States Library Services in Lagos, Ibadan, Kaduna. So, America identifies specific things to be done, and then they put their money into it in order to protect their interests all over the world. And foremost, chief among the interests of America is the spread of democracy, representative government, as we know. I am not their agent. I cannot speak to that. But I know that they, through USAID, have provided funds, not just for this one that they are now outing funds for madras education. I don't know of that of Boko Haram. I don't know of that of ISIS. To me, it would be the height of moral hypocrisy to be fighting ISIS and then still find some backdoor channels of providing resources for them. That in itself looks to me like some fantastic lie told or unleashed from the pit of hell. And the elements we are dealing with, they have to shun out things. because now they are running into bumps, they are running into barricades, running into barriers on the kind of agenda they have for us in the United States. And so to fight back, why would there not be some smear campaign? So let us attempt an anatomy of this smear. Let us attempt an anatomy of this smear, because to me, yes, I said I can speak a little to the fact that the administration of Obama gave some tacit approval to the coming of Buhari into government. And you are a first-hand witness to how close I was to the late Nigerian ambassador to the United States, the late Professor Adefuye. And because of not just me, a lot of us journalists in the diaspora who live in the United States, were close to him. Not as anybody, not as individuals that were interested in whatever was happening within deep state, but as Nigerians who were genuinely concerned about our place in global politics, and then making sure we report copiously whatever deal Nigeria was involved in. For example, during that time when some questionable and fraudulent lawyer, who I do not want to mention her because that is in the past, sold Nigeria House. This person was the personal lawyer to a particular Nigerian head of state, military head of state, but he transmogrified without an official contract himself to the lawyer for Nigeria. And then in that circumstance, he started reaping, among us, benefits from the sale of Nigerian properties in Washington, D.C. Our media outlet, SharpEdge News, with others, provided copious reports and exposed him. I think eventually he even went to court against Omoyele Sowore, and Omoyele Sowore was able to trans him in court. And eventually he was disbarred from practice as a lawyer in the state of Washington, in the state of Maryland and Washington, D.C. Now, I'm just providing that background to let you know the closeness. And I was aware that when the then Secretary of State in the United States, Hillary Clinton, visited Nigeria when Gbenga Ashiru was the Foreign Affairs Minister during the administration of Jonathan, there were specific instructions as taught to me by late Ambassador Ade Adefuye that Hillary Clinton could meet only with limited number of officials in Nigeria. Even Gbenga Ashiru, as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, was not allowed to see her off. She didn't want to be in his company. It was Ade Adefuye, as the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, that saw Mrs. Hillary Clinton off at the airport. It was that bad that the administration of Jonathan had been marked down as an administration that must go. And let me also tell you, I don't want to go into too much details because of the sensitivity of what we are talking about here. I do not believe the sponsorship for Boko Haram thing, but I believe the aspect of the tacit support that Jonathan had to go, which some of us felt was not fair. That kind of intervention and that kind of intrusion was uncalled for. Nigerians should have been allowed to take care of their situations. Now, the other aspect I was talking of has to do with the fact that during the Obama years and during Jonathan years, some elements in the opposition visited the White House. I was not taken aback when a particular individual who later became a loquacious minister in the administration of Buhari started bragging in the van or bus that took journalists to White House, Nigerian journalists, by the way, to to White House that day when he was bragging to people there that they did not have money, but they would tell huge lies that would destroy, that would sweep Jonathan away, that would destroy him. That person knows himself. I do not need to go into too much details, but these things happened. And I've listened to Professor Bolaji Akinyemi this morning on Arise Television. He struck the heart of the matter. And as somebody who has operated at the highest level as Nigeria's foreign affairs minister, we must listen to individuals like this to know where the shoe pinches, why Nigeria is the way it is. What are the interests that these people are after that will make them want to, Nnamdi Azikiwe spoke about it. Saying, in this, I did not even know until I went to interview the then Director General of Voice of Nigeria, now our Baba, Mr. Taiwo Alimi. I went to interview him for the newspaper where I used to work in Nigeria. And he told me of the manifest destiny of Nigeria that was espoused by the Owele Phoenicia, Zik of Africa himself, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. And you have that replicated in the way people will want to rise for Africa to be able to stand for itself, and then through various orchestrations and shenanigans and rigmaroles and conceits and mendacity, all these people will be brought down in their prime. Talk of Muritala Mohammed, Kwame Nkrumah, and so on and so forth, Thomas Sankara. You talk of Patrice Lumumba, the war that has become so intractable in Central African Republic and the Congo till today. Did not just start today. The eve of departure of a colonialist in Africa, these seeds of a discord and suspicion were sown. But we know those who started Boko Haram, they have been active participants in this, in successive administrations in Nigeria. You have heard the story of how they started as Ecomog boys, how they transmutated into what they are today, a killer machine, connected with all kinds of terrorist organizations, networks all over the world. So would it be a surprise to now see that an administration that is running amok in America want to shift the blame so that we can be divided amongst us in Nigeria? Whoever is going to believe their tall tales should proceed with caution. You should be mindful of what they are capable of doing, because the kind of state capture we are witnessing in the United States today is unprecedented. That implosion within the system is what they would do anything to cover in their track, and then they would look for blames where they should not turn their searchlight. But let us just be careful. That is all I have got to say about that.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better. You said one word, network.
Yes.
Network. Obviously, any money that's being spent anywhere as aid will flow to different corners of the world to fund different things that were not necessarily intended. Mm-hmm. Intentionally, unintentionally, and everything in between. So you said it all. We need to be careful. And these people they will send those statements out there like the Scott Perrys of the world.
Yes.
And you have no idea where they're coming from. If you're not educated, please, by all means, just relax.
Yeah, if you are not educated and you have not been actively involved, whether as a politician, as a military emsman, as a religious leader, and all kinds. There are crisis merchants everywhere. They benefit. I did not even know this until I sat down in my university years to read the book. It's a work of fiction, but so reflective of the truth of the Nigerian Civil War, authored by the late Dr. Festus Iyayi. The book title is Heroes. Anybody can look for it and read through that. When you have a war situation, all these people, whether chief imam, bishop, all kinds
whatever,
of
it doesn't
demagogues,
Yeah.
war generals, all kinds, student union leaders. They benefit, and the poor people
Of course, of
suffer
course, of course.
as a
So
result of it.
let's not incite people in the name of you're suddenly surprised. Calm
That's
down.
right. And
Yeah.
I mean, there is a particular individual in Nigeria there today, shamelessly got a contract at the level at which he operated as a minister in Nigeria. Why would he want to take a contract in the name of fighting fake news? And what is that? Something so nebulous and amorphous, something that is so colorless. Fighting fake news against who? This is how you identify their agents now.
Yeah.
And then they will turn around and tell you that, oh, it is this person, it is that person. But
They
Jonathan, I know, was given a raw deal, and that is not fair. And life in itself is not even totally fair.
Life is not fair, period.
We move on.
Love and war, all is fair.
That's right.
All right. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. We want you to join the conversation. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Without any further ado, we do have some other trendy stories around the world. We'll be right back.